I got a telephone call when I was in Kosovo at the time with the army. Said more or less was rushed home from there. So before I even got home to find out what happened, there was sort of 48 hours with no sleep. Couldn't make sense of anything really at the time. Was getting conflicting stories from my family and the police. Police weren't allowing me back into the house. The car was seized. Getting information was really difficult. It was into day 3 before I actually got to see her. At that time, question I think she was answering just with whatever she thought you wanted to hear. It was like she was sitting talking to a stranger. She was given bail conditions that basically prevented her from leaving the house almost. The biggest concern it was my kids. I mean, the amount of things to worry about just piled on. I went to sort of an extreme level of depression initially. Found it very hard. Even just doing day-to-day things, like getting the kids fed, stuff like that. All the way through, the court appearances were every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks. 2 or 3 days before a court appearance, I just couldn't function. And it would have been the same after. The fact that it dragged on 2.5 years. That in itself was a nightmare. Again, the court, you've got to be down 10 every morning. But it might not happen. You might not get seen till like 3 in the afternoon or whatever. Apart from maybe the last 2 appearances, everything would have been calling out the name. And when she stood up, it would be, right, come back in 2 weeks or come back in 4 weeks. And you come back in another 4 weeks and it's just exactly the same. It really seemed to make the going down to court seem pointless. The hardest bit of the whole thing to take is the hurt that it does your kids. I mean, everything from we had reporters camped out, you had phone calls. To even try and put your point of view across, to use the papers would be catastrophic to the kids. It was just, I know they're not interested in my side of the story, they're just interested in selling papers. We were on the front page of a newspaper locally for 4 months. Can't hide from that, The kids had to go through that every day, every week, and back to school. I feel like the kids and I were punished every bit as much. Just the way in general that you're treated, in every respect. You're completely under scrutiny at all times. And if not from, if you're going up to visits, if it's not from the staff up there, even from the neighbours and friends and stuff like that as well, it does change your mentality, absolutely. You just sort of try and hold on to as much of your life as you have left.